TitleMatchNetwork.com.
I want to talk about how you wound up working for Vince and being with Jeff in WWE.
All Jeff Jarrett, you know how you go in with that young boy and you give him everything you can give him. You let him win. You better yourself and him too by doing it. You become great friends. You forge a relationship that'll last for a lifetime and more. And then I'm same thing. I finish up WCW. I moved from Atlanta because I have a job there no longer, and I head down to Florida. And same thing. I'm talking to my good Lord, and I'm saying, you know what, Lord? What am I going to do now? You know, my hockey game's gone. My Colonel Parker's gone. Where am I going to go now? And I'll be doggone. Jim Ross calls me. I'm at the gym, and I come home in the afternoon. I got a message from Jim Ross. Said, Rob, we'd like you to come up here and do a little deal with Jeff Jarrett and the little thing, and this is the thing, and all. He said, give me a call. And man, I called them up, and son of a gun, they say, we said, Rob, it's an easy little job. You take a few bumps. We're not going to be wrestling. You're not going to do too much. We're going to pay you an enormous amount of money. I said, wow. I said, because the money for WWF, top notch, the best. I didn't know folks made money in this business like that. I said, man, that's heavy duty, brother. I'm going to buy a new house. Oh, anyway, I find out that the reason that I'm there, the way I find out, I'm at a meeting with Jeff one day, and Jim Ross gets up there, and he's got all the boys around, and he says, I want all you guys to take your computer and email me in storylines that you think we're missing, something we're missing. So when we walk out of there, I get Jeff, and I say, you ain't going to mail in no storyline, are you? And he said, that's the way you got here. I say, I ain't mailing in no storyline. I ain't writing no dadgum letters to nobody, one of them deals. Right. And Jeff says, well, Rob, he says, that's the way you got here. He said, I wrote a story in about how Double J could have the old Colonel Parker come in and take over the thing and all. And I just said, my heart just fell to my feet. I just had to look at him and go, is that why I'm here? And he's like, yeah, I mentioned your name, and he jumped all over it. Wow. And I just said, you know what? It pays in this world. It pays to love people, to give to things, to go all out to help folks. And I guarantee the goodness comes right back to you. And there's old Jeff Jarrett that just said, hey, you're like a brother to me. You're like a second father to me and like a brother to me. And you're the first one I thought of. And I just said, you know what? I said, it pays to pray, buddy, because it pays off. And be good in life. Do things right. Don't cheat your fellow workers. And it's important not to grasp all the money that you can get in your hands and stomp on everybody getting there and worry all about yourself and all that stuff. Give it up a little bit. Be the right kind of person. Make friends. And goodness comes back to you from it. And it's happened to me in my life, my entire life. It's, bled over from family to working to friendships. And it's what I am. It's all my wrestling. It's everything that I am. It's guys that made me the best booker I could possibly be by working so hard. And it's me giving to folks, and them giving back to me. And it's a God-given thing when you're able to see that and make it happen. Nothing better in this world.
Thanks for being here today. We probably could have went on with another hour. We had so many more names, but
sure could have. We'd be here tomorrow night.
Exactly. Thanks again. Thanks. I think you had a big feud with Jeff, right? Jeff Jarrett. Okay.
Yeah. I came in as a Tennessee stud.
Right.
My brother always worked as, carried that Tennessee stud label, and then Ron was going to retire, and he was going to go into the hockey business. He had another thing in mind. He was going to sell out of the wrestling, the whole deal. And So we did a match in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was turning heel, and I was going to wrestle Ron, my brother, to see who was going to remain as a Tennessee stud, and then the other one was going to get out of the business. One's career was over. The other one was going to be the Tennessee stud, because I was running around saying I was the Tennessee stud, and my brother saying, listen, my brother's all right, but he's got a big mouth, and he's really being it. It was a great angle,
right.
you know, and we got the very most out of it. But when I went then from there to Tennessee, I took that Tennessee stud, and when I showed up in Memphis, everybody thought I was a big baby face. They was all so glad to see me, and the first night is a big tournament. And the winner's going to win $10,000, whatever the deal is. A great big tournament. And so the last ones in the tournament are me and Jeff Jarrett. And it wasn't me. It may have been me and Lawler that wound up in the last match.
Right.
I think it was me and Lawler. And I got it won. And then Jeff comes in, smacks me in the head with a garbage can, and they wind up beating me. The reason for that was that Jeff was about 185 pounds, maybe soaking wet. And he was a good-looking young boy, but he was Jerry Jarrett's son. And a lot of guys had a chip on their shoulder about Jeff getting a push, being as small as he was. And so Jerry was kind of a state of mind. He said, is there anybody that can heal and work this business, that knows what they're doing, that can help my kid get over? I mean, it's the most important thing in his life. And so when I came in, they shot me in that spot, and I looked at that kid, and I said, I like that boy. I really like him. I said, I didn't realize he's a little small, but I said, I'm not going to work that way. I'm going to talk that way. I'm going to overpower everything that I get involved with where he's concerned, but I'm going to give this kid his devil due in the end. And I'm going to figure out a way. I've been booking long enough and working this business long enough to know that there's thousands of ways to make this David and Goliath story come across. And every match, Roadrunner and Coyote, David and Goliath, I'm going down. And I'll tell you what, I said, I'm going down and put this kid over, and I'm going to grow in my statute every night that I do it. And guys that sat around the dressing room and they said, I ain't going to put that kid over. I ain't going to put that kid over. They all looked at me working with Jarrett and they went, that's working. Why? I wouldn't have put that kid over. And if I would have, I'd have died doing it. I wouldn't be anything tomorrow. And here's Ronald Fuller, Tennessee stud, come in and put the kid over, and he's hotter now than he was before he did it. What in the hell happened there? That we were able to do that, and we did it, and we did it. Me and Jeff Jarrett played the Roadrunner Coyote story for the people for a year and a half, straight through. And I mean, and did big business. Jeff gained some weight, built his confidence, learned to speak, because the same thing happened to him that happened to me with Jerry Lawler. There's so many weaknesses in this kid. When I make my interview, I'm talking about a next thing to a mama's baby, daddy's puppy, worthless. He got no business being in the ring with me, and he's definitely going to get hurt. One of those type of deals. If your dad, Jerry Jarrett, gosh, I know you love the kid. What in the hell are you doing putting him in the ring with me? I'm going to kill him. I mean, what the heck is the deal? Look, we're doing that deal. He's looking at it and he's going, damn, Rob, you make me mad when you make those interviews. And I say, give it to me. Now the deal is I talk before you. Now, son, I'm giving you the opportunity. Well, how do I do it? I said, did you hear what I said about you? Yeah. Well, tell me what I said. Well, you said that I was this. I said, all right, bring it back to me the same way. I said, if I said you should be washing windows at a car wash, you should be, I said, go out there and tell those people, I worked at a service station and I washed those windows. Put yourself on their level and tell them I was the best damn window washer that ever worked at that station. And that's where you mess up, Tennessee stud. So Jared goes, You give me cold chills. I said, kid, do it. Go out and do it. And there we got it. There we got it. Jerry Jarrett's looking at me and he's going, Robert, I love you. Say, well, you know what? Well then, Daddy, let's go.
I got to switch tapes.
Okay.
Do you bring that in?
That was Jerry Jarrett.
Okay.
Jerry Jarrett saw her going to a concession stand in Memphis. Came out of the dressing room. She was back there with me. I didn't take her to the wrestling very much, but I had taken her that night, and she had a mini skirt and stuff on, looking real cute and too much makeup. Went to the concession stand, and Jerry caught Jerry's eye, and he came back in, and him and Lawler, and said,
Hope you don't mind my just squeezing under here.
Go for it.
and said, is that mine? And said, is that your wife? And I said, yeah. I said, that's my wife. And Jerry said, well, why is she working? And I
You don't
said,
have to worry about me because he's the one you got to think about it.
I said, she's not working. The reason she's not working is that we got 3 kids back at home, and she's a mama, and I don't take her around this business, and I'd just as soon not take her around this business because that, that's going to cause problems in our life and marriage and the kids and the whole 9 yards. And Jerry said, well, I'll tell you what, she's a spectacular looking girl. We could sure use one right now. And maybe you could use a little extra money, and naturally we're going to pay her. So he talked me into it. So I took her over to his office, and we sat down and talked about the whole thing. And she's just kind of like, what am I going to do? And I said, well, you're going to do what you're told. And we go in and we start working together. And I'll tell you what, 2 months into it, I'm the Tennessee stud. She's my right-hand man. That she's got it all. I say this, she comes up. I do that, she draws the ref. I do this, she's there. On the finish, some little type of beauty queen type of thing, get the attention, I take advantage of it. We did everything you can do with a girl, with a pretty girl, and get these matches over. And after, I guess, a year of working with her, I kind of figured, how in the world did I ever be able to work, and be the Tennessee stud without her being there, because it worked out really, really well.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.